Keith explained pretty nicely the phobia, which is different from fears, but just how to get rid of the regular fears. Yeah, there's already been a lot said about the topic, but what I also noticed when I was dissecting a lot of these things, some of them are coming from the childhood. It could be something you haven't processed in your adult life, sort of consciously. And but if you trace it back, you will realize that something happened in your childhood. It's just something ridiculous looking it back now and understanding what happened, but it was an emotional thing which connected and engraved into your mind and the body, and it became like a subconscious fear which triggers whenever that situation happens, even though it doesn't make any sense. But when you start to observe it, then you realize it, and you really look into that, and you handle it and verbalize it and have a 360 of it, then it most likely will disappear, because it was just a ridiculous thing which you didn't understand at that point. So that's one part, and these fears are relatively easy to get rid of if you understand that you have those, but that's probably the hardest part to acknowledge them. Many years back I wrote an article about these things, and there are some thoughts about it if somebody's interested. But otherwise, I don't think I have much to say. There's already been a lot mentioned, and about fears, I don't think I have much of that left, except regular disgust and anxiety about things. But I think that those are probably also healthy, in a sense that you don't necessarily want to stick your head into the wrong places, like a lion's head or some other things which can be harmful for you. Indeed, the subconscious part which comes from your childhood or from your personal history is one thing, but if you're doing meditation and you manage to get your mind quiet, you will start to notice that there's stuff arising which is not coming necessarily from your actions or within. Yes, most of it is ignorance, which is a really nice word, which is a lack of perception, lack of way to observe it more fully and understand and see beyond it. And if you see it that way, that there's no polarity anymore, then usually the whole thing disappears, like your fear, and you stop chasing the tail of the snake, or the same metaphor. So the endless back and forth disappears, and you can become at rest in that sense. And that comes even from the physics. There's no absolute any point in our time and space, and the similar way that it's only relative, everything is just relative, subjective, and there's only subjective experiences based on our subjective experiences and our definitions of everything, which are also subjective and unique in that sense. So we have just a very limited grips and ways to see the world, but it's enough that we think that we can communicate, and we are in some kind of understanding, which is not really much what's happening.